Hi everyone, I hope that you're safe and well and working hard. This week we'll finish our work in cell structure, moving on to a new cell in bacterial cells. We only have one learning intention this week, and that's to describe the main structures contained in bacterial cells. Before we begin with bacterial cells, I would like us to recap everything that we've looked at so far in relation to cells. Pause this video, and on paper or on your computer, I would like you to list all organelles that we have studied so far, and you should also include their function. So looking back in the last few weeks, we should now know the following cell organelles. The cell membrane controls movement of substances into and out of the cell. The cytoplasm is where all chemical reactions occur in the cell. The nucleus controls all cell activity. The ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. The mitochondria is the site of aerobic respiration. The cell wall, so far only present in plant and fungal cells, supports the cell. The vacuole, again so far only present in plant cells and fungal cells, stores the cell sap. And finally, the chloroplast, which has only been present in plant cells, is where photosynthesis occurs. Bacterial cells differ quite a bit to all other cells. This is mainly due to a lack of particular organelles. There are 6 key structures present in the bacterial cell. These structures are the cell membrane, cytoplasm, cell wall, ribosomes, plasmid, and circular chromosome. Bacterial cells do not contain a nucleus, mitochondria, vacuole, or chloroplast. Bacterial cells do contain a cell wall, but it's different from the plant cell wall, and the way that it's different is that it is not made of cellulose. If we take a look at this diagram, you'll find this diagram in your revision notes. We can see that there are 6 key structures within the bacterial cell. Just like the plant cell, we see the cell wall on the outermost edge of the cell, and this surrounds the cell membrane. We can see the ribosomes, and they're represented again by black dots, and the cytoplasm still holds all of these organelles on the inside of the cell. But we can also see 2 new organelles. These little disc-shaped organelles are called plasmids. There are 2 of these present, while the large erratic looking shape is called the circular chromosome. Now this circular chromosome will differ slightly in every diagram that you see. Bacterial cells vary a lot between cells. By that we mean that they all look different. If we look at this cell here, it's still a bacterial cell, but it looks quite different from the previous slide. In this diagram we can see a tail. This tail is called a flagellum, but it's not always present in bacterial cells. The circular chromosome in this instance is also referred to as simply DNA. If we look at this diagram here, all structures are present, but again the cell looks different. You will immediately notice that the cell does not have that flagellum tail. The circular chromosome is also represented by a messier shape in comparison to the first diagram. So again, I would like you guys to pause the video and to complete the following diagram. This is the 4th diagram of the bacterial cell that we have seen. I would like you to draw and label the diagram with the 6 key organelles of the bacterial cell. Well done to those of you who managed to complete this diagram. Once again, we can see all of the key structures of the bacterial cell present here. To recap this, the 6 key structures are the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the ribosomes, the cell wall, the plasmid, and the circular chromosome. Looking at these bacterial cells, there are 2 new organelles present that we've not heard of before. The first of these is called the circular chromosome, and this is just a piece of DNA that helps to code for protein. Plasmids are small circular sections of DNA, and bacterial cells have them in their cytoplasm in addition to this large circular chromosome, and both of these help the cell to function. For example, The plasmid could contain the genetic code for antibiotic resistance, and this could be really important to the survival of the bacterial cell. Plasmids can be replicated really fast and can transfer between bacterial cells easily, and this will be important as we move through third year and into National 5. So to recap this week's lesson, the learning intention this week was to describe the main structures contained within the bacterial cell. We've learned this week that the bacterial cell contains 6 key structures: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the ribosomes, the cell wall, and 2 new structures, the plasmid and the circular chromosome. Keep in mind that it does not contain a mitochondria, the nucleus, chloroplast, or a vacuole. Now that we've went through the PowerPoint, these are the revision tools that I'm advising you to use this week. The revision notes can be found in the Files section of Teams and will also be attached to the assignment. If you look at pages 4 and 5, this gives you all the information that you need this week about bacterial cells. You can also look at BBC Bitesize. Again, they've got absolutely amazing resources, and I've attached a link to the PowerPoint. This will also be found in your assignment. This week, we have 2 assessment materials for you to complete. The first are revision questions for you to download and complete, and if you cannot do this, write your answers on a sheet of paper and simply email them to me. The second is a bacterial cells quiz in Teams. Once you've completed this, you must submit it. This will show us that you've completed the task. Remember that, as always, the quiz will not be posted until Thursday. It will then be due for completion by the end of the day on Friday. Please let me know if you have any trouble accessing the documents or the materials for the work this week. And thank you again for listening. Have a good week and work hard.